Hi, my name is Joyce. I'm with the customer success team here at Johnson Plastics Plus. I'm here today to talk to you about the Unisub Sublimation Cast Acrylic. So this unique material has some great features to it that we want to talk about today. It's specially formulated to give you really vibrant, crisp, clear colors. It can be laser cut to unique shapes and sizes to meet all of your design needs. It also comes in a huge variety of sizes, everything from the 11.8 inch square all the way to the 96 by 48 inch sheet. It has an edge-to-edge coating. It gives you designs all the way across so you can utilize as much material as you need. I'm going to show you today how to laser engrave it and sublimate it. Now it's time to set up our design. So you will need a sublimation printer with this, as well as some sort of laser in order to cut it, and a heat press in order to sublimate it. When you are setting up your sublimation transfer, your artwork, you do want to make sure that you turn mirroring off because you do not need to mirror the artwork with this material. You will, however, want to make sure you have enough bleed around whatever your artwork is so that you have edge-to-edge coverage. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set my sheet up for laser cutting. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my laser. I do want to make sure my laser focuses on my material. This will vary per your laser. All right. Now I'm ready to take a picture of the bed and send my job. Okay, now that we're done cutting, I can go ahead and grab my blanks and get them ready for sublimation. Okay, so now that we have one of our pieces that's been laser cut out, I do want to show you on the back, there is a masking that protects the sublimation side. So we'll need to go ahead and pull that off. So you can see how nice and white that background is. That is why you want to leave your masking on both sides whenever you put it in the laser. Go ahead and remove all of our masking here to expose our sublimation coating. So this is our sublimation coating. We do want to leave the masking that is still on the front of this on during the sublimation process. We just want to remove that sublimation masking. Now we're going to line it up over our artwork. I want you to notice this artwork is not mirrored. Also, I have enough of bleed around my letters to give me edge-to-edge coverage. Now you can either adhere this with heat tape or you can use low tack adhesive spray, whichever you have available. So in this case, I'm going to actually fold this over a little bit on my ends. So that way then my transfer stays in place. We're going to set this example up. We have our laser cutout blank. I've already removed the masking from the sublimation side, so this white coating is ready to sublimate now, but I have left the masking on for the laser cut side on here on the top, so that way then when I sublimate, this edge will be protected. My artwork is not mirrored, so when I put this down, I should be able to read it through it. I also still have a bleed around my laser cut blank, so that way then I will have edge-to-edge coverage. You can adhere this with either a low tack adhesive spray, or you can use heat tape, whichever one you have available. All right, now we're ready to sublimate our project. I do want to take a moment to talk about settings and using a heat press with sublimation cast acrylic. We recommend using anywhere between 350 to 360 degrees Fahrenheit for 120 seconds with medium to medium heavy pressure. I also recommend using a Teflon sheet instead of blowout paper, so that way then you don't have any extra paper sticking to your project. All right, so we're going to set this project up first. All I need to do is go ahead and set it so that my sublimation transfer is upwards towards the heat press. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to put it here in the center, cover it with my Teflon, go ahead and close my press up, start my time. Okay, I do want to leave my sublimation cast acrylic here on the platen while it begins to cool down. So sublimation cast acrylic is very soft when it first comes away from the heat, and you want to let it sit here and cool down on the platen instead of pulling it off and putting it on a different surface. We do recommend that about every 30 seconds you actually flip it and let this cool until it reaches the rigid state, which you will actually be able to feel. Right now it still feels really soft to the touch, so I'm going to let it continue to cool, and then I'll flip it in about another 30 seconds. You can either leave your sublimation transfer on until it fully cools, or you can remove it while it's hot. Just note that you can potentially bow or warp the material by doing that. Flip it again. All right, and it's already reaching rigid state where when I press on it, I don't feel any softening, which means I can then remove this fully from the heat and let it cool on a different surface. I do want to cover doing the sublimation on the name that we went ahead and had laser cut out earlier, because anytime you have very thin, narrow strips of sublimation acrylic, you will have potentially areas where it's going to flex or bend or warp. So I want to cover that so that way then you guys know how to keep it from happening. Again, we're going to use that 30-second flipping technique, and you're going to get to see it go from a softened state to more of a rigid state here on the platen. Here's my Teflon sheet. There we go. We're set at 360 degrees for 120 seconds. Okay. Again, I'm going to go ahead and leave my sublimation blank on the platen while it cools, because if I flip it over right now, you're going to get to see how very soft and flexible it is. So as this cools, it's going to get a lot more rigid, so we want to give it time to do that and not shock it with moving it to something really cold really quickly. So it's slowly going to decrease its heat and become more rigid. So again, about every 30 seconds, I'm going to take time to flip it over, and that way then it's getting equal amounts of cooling on both sides. Okay, we're going to flip it again. And what I'm doing when I'm touching it is I'm feeling for how stiff or rigid it is. That way then, if the plastic is still soft, you can definitely feel it in your fingertips. You want to give it a chance to continue to cool down. The larger the piece that you're trying to cool, the more times you're going to have to flip it. It's already beginning to feel a little bit more rigid, but I am going to flip it again. Continue to just monitor as it cools down. Once it starts to stiffen up, if you notice when I pick it up, it doesn't bend anymore. Now it stays nice and stiff. I'm going to go ahead and move it to another surface to finish cooling. All right, now it's time to remove our transfer and our surface masking. Now that these have cooled down, I can handle them. I can go ahead and pull that away. Remove that surface masking that helped protect my sublimation cast acrylic all the way through all the process. That one is done. And now I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Same process here. Just remove my sublimation transfer and remove my masking that helped protect it all the way through. Great thing is if your paper sticks, it is just sticking to the masking. There we go. Thanks for joining us today. Any of these products and tech tips can be found at the Johnson Plastics Plus website, jpplus.com. If you have any questions about your products or questions about a project, feel free to reach out to the customer success team. Thanks for watching.